Some people travel far, meet many faces, and live in many places, yet never feel truly at home. No matter where they are, something inside remains unsettled, as if they're only passing through life, never unpacking completely. Even in familiar rooms, with familiar people, the feeling of belonging never fully arrives. If you've always felt like nowhere is truly yours, like you're emotionally homeless in a world full of places, this video is for you. Many people assume that never feeling at home anywhere means you are inflexible, distant, or bad at adapting. Psychologically, that assumption is often wrong. People who carry this feeling usually adapt too well on the surface. They learn the rules of new places quickly, mirror social norms effortlessly, and function without obvious conflict. But adaptation is not the same as belonging. At a deeper level, these individuals hold a very high emotional standard for what home means. For them, home is not comfort, convenience, or routine. Home is safety without vigilance. It is a space where the nervous system does not have to scan for danger, judgment, or emotional withdrawal. If an environment does not offer that depth of safety, their body quietly refuses to settle, no matter how good the place looks on paper. They are also highly sensitive to emotional incongruence. When a space, culture, or group does not reflect their inner values, their system stays alert. This is not stubbornness, it is self-protection. Their mind understands the place is acceptable, but their body does not feel safe enough to land. The key truth is this: you are not difficult. You simply require a level of emotional alignment that most environments do not naturally provide. For many people who never feel at home anywhere, the roots trace back to early life. Childhood instability doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it appears as frequent moves, changing schools, or shifting caregivers. Other times, it exists quietly. A household where emotions were unpredictable, ignored, or unsafe to express. When a child grows up without a stable emotional base, the brain learns an important lesson. Places are temporary and safety is conditional. Home stops being a physical location and becomes a fragile concept. Instead of representing rest, it becomes associated with tension, adaptation, or emotional self-monitoring. Over time, the nervous system stops trusting permanence. Even when adult life offers stability, the body remains unconvinced. This is why settling into a new place can feel strangely empty, or why long-term stability can trigger restlessness instead of comfort. The mind wants to stay, but the body expects disruption. This isn't a flaw, it's learned survival. When home was never reliably safe, the brain protects you by staying mobile internally. It keeps one foot out the door just in case. People who never feel at home anywhere often live with an invisible psychological posture, readiness. Even when life appears stable, part of them stays mentally packed. This does not mean they dislike commitment or fear responsibility. It means their nervous system learned early that permanence is risky. Staying too rooted once meant getting hurt, disappointed, or overwhelmed. As a result, they rarely attach deeply to places. They can enjoy them, function in them, even succeed in them. But they do not sink emotional roots. Everything feels temporary, including comfort. On the surface, this can look like independence or flexibility. Internally, it is a quiet form of vigilance. They prepare for change before it arrives. They emotionally rehearse exits, imagine alternative paths, and avoid building a life that would be painful to uproot. This constant readiness is not indifference. It is self-protection. If nothing feels permanent, then nothing can fully break them. Over time, this survival strategy becomes a personality trait. They may feel restless after settling down, or strangely uneasy when things are too stable. Stability feels unfamiliar, even threatening, because their system was shaped in motion, not rest. The important point is this: being ready to leave is not a lack of attachment. It is an adaptation to environments where staying once felt unsafe. There are subtle patterns that reveal this inner displacement. One common sign is movement without satisfaction. You may enjoy relocating, traveling, or changing environments, yet the feeling of arrival never lasts. Each new place carries hope, followed by the same quiet emptiness once the novelty fades. Another sign is emotional distance from your living space. You may decorate, organize, or settle in, but without emotional attachment. Your home feels functional, not grounding. Even after years, it doesn't feel like yours. Many people also describe a persistent sense of being an outsider, even among familiar faces. You understand the social rhythm, but never fully relax into it. There is always a subtle sense of observing rather than belonging. Perhaps the most telling sign is the constant mental search for somewhere else. Even when life is good, part of you imagines another place, another version of home that might finally fit. These signs are not flaws. They are signals, pointing to a deeper need for safety, not scenery. At the core of never feeling at home anywhere is not geography, lifestyle, or choice. It is internal safety. When the nervous system grows accustomed to uncertainty, it learns to stay alert by default. Even in calm environments, the body does not fully power down. Relaxation feels unfamiliar, sometimes even unsafe. This chronic vigilance makes it difficult to attach to places. Home requires the ability to soften, to stop scanning, stop preparing, stop bracing. But for someone whose system equates closeness and dependence with potential pain, staying emotionally unguarded feels risky. Subconsciously, they associate feeling settled with vulnerability. As a result, they may resist grounding without realizing it. They keep emotional distance from spaces, routines, and even future plans. This is not avoidance, it is protection. If nothing becomes deeply anchored, then nothing can fully destabilize them when it changes. The crucial truth is this: when safety is missing on the inside, no external environment can compensate. A beautiful home, a peaceful city, or a stable life will still feel incomplete. Home is not a place the body enters. It is a state the nervous system allows. Until that state exists internally, the world remains slightly foreign. This experience is not random. Certain personality structures and life histories make people more likely to carry this sense of non-belonging. Deep introverts often experience it, especially those who process life internally rather than through constant interaction. Their inner world is rich, but few environments truly accommodate it. People who experienced emotional neglect or early responsibility also carry this pattern. Growing up too fast teaches self-reliance, not rest. They learn to function without depending on places or people, a skill that later makes belonging difficult. Highly sensitive people are another group. Their nervous systems register emotional nuance, tension, and inconsistency quickly. If a space feels emotionally misaligned, they cannot relax within it. Lastly, those with deeply reflective or introspective minds often struggle to feel settled. They question meaning, identity, and connection more intensely than most. Their depth is not easily mirrored by environments built for surface living. These individuals are not cold or distant. They are simply used to protecting themselves quietly for a very long time. For those who never feel at home anywhere, connection is rarely tied to walls, cities, or addresses. Instead, it lives in people. A place can remain emotionally empty for years, yet a single meaningful connection can suddenly make it feel safe. This is because their sense of home was never built on location. It was built on emotional presence. They feel most grounded when they are with someone who sees them without demanding performance. Around the right person, their nervous system finally relaxes. Conversation flows without vigilance. Silence feels safe instead of awkward. In these moments, they experience what others associate with a physical home: ease, permission, and rest. Without that emotional resonance, even the most stable environment feels hollow. A beautiful house becomes just a structure. A familiar neighborhood remains emotionally distant. For them, belonging is not spatial, it is relational. This is why they may tolerate instability in location but struggle deeply with emotional disconnection. When meaningful bonds fade, the sense of home disappears with them. The truth is simple but often misunderstood. These individuals are not rootless. Their roots are just not planted in soil. They are planted in connection. Home, for them, is not where they live. It is where they are emotionally met. The sense of not belonging often intensifies during transitional moments. Moving to a new place can trigger hope, followed quickly by a familiar emptiness once routines form. The expected feeling of arrival never comes, leaving quiet confusion behind. Paradoxically, staying in one place too long can create another kind of discomfort. Stability may start to feel suffocating rather than soothing. The longer they remain, the more their internal restlessness surfaces, as if their system is waiting for the next disruption. This feeling becomes especially sharp when observing others settle easily. Watching people build roots, attach to neighborhoods, and feel emotionally anchored can provoke a strange mix of longing and disbelief. They wonder how others make peace with permanence so naturally. There are also moments of quiet contrast, sitting alone in a space that is objectively safe, yet emotionally distant. In those moments, the realization surfaces: I am here, but I am not home. These feelings do not come from a single event. They accumulate over time, reinforcing the belief that belonging is always somewhere else. At a deeper psychological level, the longing you feel is often misunderstood, even by yourself. You are not truly searching for a place, a city, or a permanent address. You are searching for a state of safety. What you crave is the ability to fully exhale without monitoring your surroundings or your emotional impact. This longing shows up as a desire to be accepted without explanation, to exist without performing, and to rest without preparing for loss. Your nervous system is seeking a condition where it no longer has to anticipate withdrawal, conflict, or abandonment. That condition is what most people casually label as home. Because this need is internal, changing locations rarely satisfies it. Each new place offers temporary relief, but the same unease returns once the nervous system realizes the underlying pattern has not changed. The search continues, not because you are restless, but because the safety you want cannot be found externally. The quiet truth is this: home is the moment your system feels permitted to stand down. It is not a location. It is a psychological environment. Until that environment exists inside you, no address will ever fully feel like home. The path toward feeling at home does not start with relocation. It starts inward. Building internal safety means teaching your nervous system that stillness is not a threat. This happens slowly through small, consistent signals of self-trust and self-acceptance. Creating a personal space that reflects your inner world can help, not to impress, but to express. When your surroundings mirror who you are emotionally, they become easier to inhabit. Connection matters more than quantity. Choose a few relationships where authenticity is possible, rather than many where you must remain guarded. Emotional safety with people often precedes safety with places. Allow yourself to move more slowly. Rushing reinforces the feeling of impermanence. Slowness tells the body that staying is allowed. Most importantly, redefine what home means. It does not have to be a fixed place. It can be a state you cultivate, one grounded in self-permission, presence, and internal peace. Some people find home in an address. Some find it in a routine, a city, or a familiar street. But some people, like you, were never meant to belong to a single place. You were meant to carry home within you. When you stop forcing yourself to fit where you don't feel safe, when you stop searching outside for something that only grows inside, the world slowly becomes less hostile, less distant. You don't need to arrive somewhere to be at home. You only need to feel safe enough to stay, within yourself. And when that happens, no matter where you are, you are no longer lost.